Kishane Thompson is a very big deal. He's the Olympic silver medalist in the 100-meter dash, but that's really selling him short. Because last year in 2024, he ran the fastest time in the world that year, recorded in the 100-meter dash. That is the reason why many people still consider him to be the fastest man in the world, because the clock is what they care about. Hey, it is what it is, and that's not the debate that I'm here to have. I actually had no intention on making this video, at all. But I just got word, and I'm very glad that I actually get to talk about it. Because here we go. It seems that Kishane Thompson, well, his coach is putting it out to the world, that Kishane will be on the starting line for the World Indoor Championships in the 60-meter dash. You have to understand how big a deal this is, because as of right now, there is no evidence to suggest that anybody else from that Olympic final is supposed to be running at that World Indoor Championship meet. The same Olympic final where Kishane Thompson, controversially depending on who you ask, got the silver medal in the 100. Kishane Thompson ran the 60-meter dash this year, and I admit, he is now a phenomenon, because when he hits the track, people pay attention. It doesn't matter what track he's running on. He ran an outdoor 60-meter dash with a negative 2.1 wind that was 6.48 seconds. It was apparently his season opener. That practically broke the internet, because one, outdoor 60-meter dash races really aren't a thing. And two, it wasn't just that he ran it, it's that he ran into a negative headwind and recorded one of the fastest times that you would expect to see. Now, that was then. This is now. He did go indoors to Kazakhstan, a race that I got up very early in the morning here in America to be able to actually watch it. And he did win the event, which is what everybody expected, but he only ran 6.56 seconds. I say only because once you put that outdoor time on the board, it looks slow in comparison. But hey, it is what it is, because last time I checked, the 60-meter dash is an indoor track and field event. So here we go. If Kishane Thompson is going to come back and is going to run at World Indoors, we all know what we expect. People expect to see him to win that event. Anything less than gold would be a failure. But let's clarify. On talent, from what we just saw in Paris, I guess I would have to go down in the camp that would expect him to win. If Kishane Thompson is healthy and he's on the starting line and he's able to compete at his best, you gotta put him as the front runner. And for those people who don't know history on this, Jamaica does run the 60-meter dash. Asafa Powell ran the 60-meter dash all the way through the World Indoors. I don't know if he did it multiple seasons, but he did it once. And that year he actually got the silver medal. But the guy he lost to was Trayvon Bromell, who is one of the fastest men we've ever seen this side of Usain Bolt. That was a young Trayvon, but hey, it is what it is. And that was Asafa towards the back half of his career. So we really don't know what he would have ran if he were, quote unquote, at his peak level of performance. On the women's side, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price and Veronica Campbell-Brown ran World Indoors in the 60 and won the gold medal in that event. So yes, Jamaica does this. And most recently, Akeem Blake did go indoors to run the 60-meter dash. He got the World Indoor bronze medal behind Noah Lyles and Christian Coleman. But when he went outdoors, even though he didn't make the Olympic final, he is technically the Diamond League final champion, for what it's worth. So, simply put, Jamaica does this. But when Kishane Thompson hits the track, for this World Indoor, it drastically changes the event from the outlook. Because up until now, the field for the World Indoor 60, as far as I'm concerned, was, we don't really know who America's going to send yet, at least at the time I'm recording this video, but we know who they're supposed to send. If you're just going by history, we're supposed to send Ronnie Baker and Trayvon Bromell. Let's just go out on a limb here and assume that they are the men that America sends. Because if they're not, well, I'll get to what that world looks like in a moment. But assuming they go, then now it's Trayvon Bromell, Ronnie Baker, two former Olympians, both of which are World Indoor medalists. Trayvon Bromell, I already said, is a World Indoor gold medalist. They are now going out there with Kishane Thompson. But Kishane Thompson is the most recent name that most track and field fans will recognize, based on what we saw in 2024. Because the other two weren't at the games in 2024, and he was. And he came back with a medal in the race that everybody paid attention to. So yeah, I guess going back to what I said, Kishane should be able to win that. And if he does, it does now, in my opinion, add even more build-up to him and Noah facing off at what I expect to be the World Championship event. Because I would love to see them race in professional races between now and then. I just don't expect it's going to happen the way this sport is set up. But if you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. And I'm Coach Rob, the founder of SCArecruiting.com, where I rank the best track and field recruits across the entire nation. And if anything that I say actually connects with you, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe. But if I don't, just let me know in the comment section, because I try to read them all. I totally understand that there are some people who don't think it's a good idea for any athlete, much less Kishane Thompson, to focus on the indoor track season. But I ain't buying it, and here's why. Indoor track and field, if we just want to go off of recent memory, in 2024, Noah Lyles on the men's side and Julian Alfred on the women's side both took the 60-meter dash indoor seriously. They ran all the way through to the World Championships. Noah Lyles, in that case, the only reason he got second, I'm going to argue, is because the man who is the world record holder in that event was also in that race. That's the only reason he didn't get the gold. And Julian Alfred, ain't nobody in the world touching her in a 60. There's all the evidence to suggest that. The only woman who's ever run faster than her in that event did it 30 years ago. I'm not making this up. Both of those athletes went outdoors, and when they got there, they won the world. So when people say that the 60 will mess up your 100 and it doesn't translate, I'm sure those are debates that can be had in the comments, and I'm more than happy to have those conversations with people who are willing to have them and, be respectful about it. But recent memory tells us the 60 does impact the 100 positively from a training standpoint, as well as from the success you actually have out there. But the other reason Kishane Thompson running the 60 is a very big deal is because, like I said, you gotta give the people what they want. Track and field right now is in a place where we're somewhere in between boxing and the UFC. If we're being honest, all these races we run in, all the races we're running, they're just races. They don't mean anything if you can't put people who we want to see on the track. And people want to see Kishane Thompson on the track. It's the reason why he could run an outdoor 60 meter that really didn't mean anything. It was just a race. It wasn't even like billed as a major pro race. But hey, people wanted to see it. I wanted to see it. A whole bunch of other people tried to stream it to see it. But the internet lit up once the race was over because people cared. The World Indoor Championship is supposed to mean something. So when you bring an Olympic medalist, one with the type of, I don't even know if you can call it hype anymore. It's just the mystique of Kishane Thompson. It's the way that he came to the scene. Because if you go back to 2022, that's not a name anybody was saying. You go back to 2023, he was there, but nobody really noticed. His biggest race was losing to Christian Coleman. Just being honest, it was a race where he lost in a Diamond League race. He showed up to the Prefontaine, and no, he wasn't all the way in the front. And then you move on to 2024, where we didn't really see much of anything from him. I mean, he ran one pro race, as far as I know, that wasn't the Jamaican Trials. I mean, he won that race, but then lit it up at the Jamaican Trials. And the story that we received from this side of the world is that he wasn't even trying all that hard, that he quote-unquote shut it down to run that world-leading time. Then you have everything that happened in the Olympics. Which brings us to this part of the story. This movie is just getting good. Because Kishane Thompson, if he's going to World Indoors, I'm expecting to see gold medals go back to Jamaica. It doesn't mean that there's nobody else in the world who can stop him. But if we're just going off of the clock, aside from what Lockie Kennedy did down in Australia, fundamentally speaking, 648, negative 2.1, yeah, you'd have to put that on the boards as the best thing we've seen this year. The rest of the world's best men are not going to lie down during the championship. And if America's best men can show up in top form, Kishane Thompson is definitely going to have a run for his money. But the way the track and field community is understanding this, at least the way I understand it, is people feel like they know how this movie is supposed to go. Kishane Thompson is supposed to go indoors, over to China, and come back with a gold medal. Anything less than that would be a failure. I don't necessarily see it that way, because if Noah Lyles can go indoors and lose, and he was losing for quite a few years, he won the 100 in 2023 at the Worlds, and he did run some 60s that year, as far as I remember, but no, he did not win World Indoor, and again in 2024 he didn't win it either. So the 60 can be a step towards future success, but for now, I recommend that you stay tuned to this episode of the Kishane Thompson saga. I'm talking about the episode that's gonna be airing in China in just about a month's time, because this show is really just getting good. In the sport of track and field, confidence is everything, because when you win, that is just the moment when everybody else finds out what you already knew to be true, that fast is a lifestyle. Get your fast is a lifestyle track and field gear at scarecruiting.com/shop, or use the link in the description below. It's a huge support to me and this channel, so I can continue to make you more content like this. And remember, it is always greatly appreciated if you would please like and subscribe.